What's up, Marvel fans? This is Stan Series, and in today's video, I'm going to be doing my spoiler review for the Avengers Infinity War. So yeah, oh my god, that film is the greatest film ever, and it's really amazing. I mean, I enjoyed it really. I enjoyed the story. I enjoyed like most of the characters we had in it, and I enjoyed the plot, like even plot tricks, like the plot tricks in the film. So I was going to say that right, and etc. Like all that stuff in it. So yeah, but before we really start into this, now I did see the film on Thursday, and I've been trying to get this video up, but the problem is now an app I've been using to edit my videos, it looks like it won't let me upload like if it's somewhere like an hour, like how I've done like how I did my Thor Ragnarok video. So, but the thing is now I've been having a thought about this lately and said about I'm not going to try to do that kind of long of spoiler reviews anymore now. I'm tempted to make them more different now. So how this is going to work now is I will, discussions wise in this will be like, I will talk about the very important scenes that are part of the plot. Then I'll bring up about which characters I love the most, you know. And but in the plot bit I will mention deaths in it, like who dies. And also, I'll bring up bits like I enjoyed, bits I didn't like, and I will also bring up post-credit scene as well. So, yeah, I'm only going to give this as a try and see if you guys like this. It's only like a trial video, really. Seeing if this kind of spoiler review will work. So, yeah. So, that's that. So, yeah, before we get into this, so if you don't want to hear any spoilers from the film, please leave right now. And when you do see it, come back and then you can start commenting on my video saying about what parts you loved and, you know, and all that kind of shit. So, is everyone gone? Right, let's get to this then. So, let's do the important plot points of the film then. So, let's start with the opening, really. So, they opened very differently this time with the credits. This time around, you ain't got like your fancy music of the Marvel logo. This time you got like a deep kind of dog sound, and you hear an Asgardian giving a stretch signal really. And then it comes to the Marvel Studios with the number 10, changing the O and 0, the I and O to 10, but with the studio word. Then when we come to the opening, we see the Asgardian ship has been attacked. We see the Asgardians dead. Some other characters who are non-Asgardians got killed, and also, we see like the Black Order, they're all walking around their corpses, and well, some of them are killing some of the Asgardians. But in this point of the plot, we get to really understand what Thanos is like. Why does he want the stones? Like, you know, and how powerful he is. But part of it, he does manage to get the Tesseract from Loki because, well, he asks him for it first, but then. First off, he wouldn't give it, but then Thanos does torture Thor. But then Loki has to give it up. But there was a point when they thought they had a hand to beat him down, to beat Thanos down. But, well, because they sent in Hulk to beat him, but Hulk got completely tugged down with around 5 hits, I think. So, yeah, that didn't go well for Hulk. So Thanos does have the Tesseract, and he does destroy it. So he destroys the Tesseract, and he puts it into his glove, and also he does have the Power Stone with him. So that's that one. And our first death is Heimdall. So he dies in the film, and what he did before he died, he sent Hawk back to Earth to warn Earth about Thanos. So Thanos killed Heimdall by using Corvus Glaive's weapon. So yeah, he dies, and he ain't the only one who dies in this beginning scene. Also, Loki dies, and not fake, but for real, because Loki was trying to stab him, like because he was going to pretend to like, oh, I'm going to work for you, but then he kills him. But Loki really was, before his last words, he was like, "You'll never be a god." But Thanos he's like he didn't care what Loki said. But then what Thanos did was he used the Power Stone and he destroyed the whole ship. And the only survivor was Thor. And when Thanos did that, he used the Space Stone as well to teleport out. with his Black Order. So man, that was intense. So what happens with Hulk then? So Hulk ends up crashing on Earth into the Centum Centaura when he meets Doctor Strange and Wong. But when Banner appeared, you know, he goes like, Thanos is coming, and so he warns them. So that's the opening bit. Let's get into the plot points then. So we get a scene when Strange brings Iron Man in, and he So Strange and Wong explain to him about the origins of the stones, you know, about the Big Bang and the creation, and also like there's just when Tony learns about. So Thanos was the one who did the planning, you know, back in the first Avengers film. So he gets to learn about that. And then also a part of it, Doctor Strange is all about like, look, we need to protect the Time Stone, and we also need to protect the Mind Stone. And so he finds out. So Doctor Strange knows about Vision's got the Mind Stone, but he'd gone off the rails for the last 2 weeks in the film. So what Tony said. So they really had to try and find him. But the Time Stone gets taken anyway, because in the that part of the film, the Ebony and Black Dwarf come to Earth and they have a fight with the heroes. Even Spider-Man comes into it, but Ebony managed to catch him Strange and, well, sends him into this circle ship, so he gets captured. So that was like, oh no, this is going to be a bad situation. So what happens? So also with it, in that kind of part of the scene, actually Stan Lee's around that time of the scene. He's cameo. He's a bus driver, and he says to the kids like, "Have you guys never seen a ship before?" I was really laughing at that one. So other important parts of the film was there was the Guardians really. So what was the Guardians bit in that film? So after the Guardians get a distraction from, you know, the Asgardian ship, they've managed to get there, but it's too late, you know, because the ship's destroyed. But they bumped into Thor. Now, when Thor comes back around, like out of his sleep, he explains to them that what's happened, and then even Gamora explains, like, you know, what it was like when she was with Thanos, and knows what he's tended to do. But Thor does give him a day saying about, oh, he went to Xandar last week and took the Power Stone, and now he's got the Space Stone as well. And also as well, he does bring up to them and saying about the Reality Stones at the Collector's place. So that became like a big thing. So, but at that point, what happened is, but okay, that was it. Before I'll say this next bit, he says then, no one has never seen the Soul Stone, and in this bit, you can see there's going to be like a twist later on in the film because of Gamora's face. She's like that kind of face. It's like, oh, she knows something about it. But then these two get to split up really. So Thor takes Rocket and Raccoon to the dwarves' working home place. It's called Nidavellir. It's the place where the dwarves live, like, who create weapons. And Thor says, I need to get a weapon. I need to get this weapon that will kill Thanos. So really Thor, Rocket and Groot go with him. So we leave with Gamora, Star-Lord, Drax and Mantis. They go into nowhere so they can stop Thanos from getting the Reality Stone. So those two get split up. Now the next important thing I'll bring up of the plot is Vision. So in the whole film, it's all a risk with Vision because we know he's got the Mind Stone. But he does get attacked a couple of times in the film. So he gets attacked by the Black Order. Well, only Proxima, Milaje and Corvus Glaive. They attack him a bit. Even Scarlet at the same time when they first get encountered with them. But there was a point, like, the battle ended when they entered this train station. Now, this is all taking place in Scotland. So we find out that in Scotland, that's where Vision and Scarlet Witch are hiding. So that's when it's all taking place. So in the train station in that place, you think that, oh, they're gonna get Vision now, but then luckily Steve Rogers, aka Nomad now, and Black Widow and Falcon come in and they save him. But luckily really, Proxima, Milaje and Corvus Glaive get away, so they survive that battle. So like the next step is like, for those guys, they're like, what's our next step really? So really what they do is they go back to the Avengers headquarters. So you might be thinking, oh, isn't that risky because they're fugitives? Well, that's what I thought. So only at the place, it's a war machine, and we do see General Ross there, but not as in person, but he's like talking through a hologram with some other government people. But then when Nomad's team comes in, it's like intense really, because General Ross is like, you think this is all going to be fine because of, you know, what's going on. So, the thing was, he asked his war machine to arrest him, but luckily, war machine doesn't. So, back to the more important part of the story. So, after when everyone, like, they all great, you know, all happy to see War Machine again, and even seeing Banner, so he's there at the Avengers headquarters. They give him more up to date about two heroes, Ant-Man and Spider-Man. Now, in this film as well, we do learn what happened to Ant-Man and Hawkeye, and they bring up that those two are on house arrest. So, because remember from the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer, we saw Scott Lang's going to house arrest, so that explains where Hawkeye's is as well. But anyway, back to the plot thing. So, they try to discuss and try to figure out, like, what are they going to do with Vision, like, and also thinking about what we're going to do with the Mind Stone. But Vision offers an idea and says about one Scarlet Witch's powers came from the Mind Stone, and her powers can destroy the stone. So really, he offers to sacrifice himself by getting Scarlet Witch to kill him, and they were like, "We're not going to do that. We're not going to have a sacrifice. We're not going to get you killed." So that's what they didn't want to do. So they try to think, what can we do? So Cap says, like, I know a place what we could do. So that is Wakanda. But I'll jump back to that one. Let's go back to the Guardians really. So when they came to the Guardians, they arrived at nowhere, but the problem is Thanos is already there, and at that point we see that the Guardians do take on Thanos, but then Nebula comes in, and you see the point that it looks like she did kill him, because she uses her big sword, but then she has this mini knife. Now, this mini knife, she was given when she was a child, and this goes to the part with the flashback scene, and it turns out that Thanos, when he first met her, he gave that to her when he was killing her people, well, half of her people. So that scene we do get to see in the film. So she uses that mini knife and kills him. Now you first think like, well, to your mind you'll be like, oh, he ain't dead, but he's not, no, because the twist is he's got the reality stone and he uses it to create any reality he wants. It was like an illusion way. But problem is the Guardians get beaten down and Gamora really gets kidnapped, so she gets taken. So that wasn't pretty good. So let's really talk about that important bit then with Gamora and Thanos. So we do get scenes with them. So Thanos really asks Gamora about where is the Soul Stone, but she wasn't having it. Like, she wasn't going to give it up. But she eventually does give up because Thanos has Nebula and he tortures her. And also before he tortured her, he showed Gamora a message from Nebula's mind, and it shows her with Nebula and Gamora talking back before Guardians 1. This was, and she's saying about, and Gamora brings up about, I know where it is. I saw the map. I burned it. Thanos is never going to find it. So that's what happened. But as I said, Gamora gives up, and she does tell him, and then she takes him to where it is. So we jump on a planet called the Vormir, and there we get introduced to this weird figure who knows their names, and this figure turns out to be Red Skull. So he's alive. So Red Skull is alive, and he's like the keeper of the Soul Stone, like he protects it. Now Red Skull explains that how to have the Soul Stone. So he says to Thanos, the only way to have the Soul Stone is to make a sacrifice. So he has to so Thanos has to sacrifice the person he loves the most. And you know who it had to be? Gamora. But Gamora thought like first like, oh, you failed. How does it feel? But then Thanos teared up when Gamora thought it was his tears, but Red Skull goes like, it's not his. Thanos does, like he does, he grabs her and he chucks her off the cliff and she falls to her death and dies. And I was sad, really. I was sad that it killed Gamora off. But after Thanos did that, he managed to teleport back onto the surface of the planet and then has the Soul Stone. So now Thanos has got like 4 stones at this point. So let's head back to the Wakanda. So back at Wakanda, Nomad's hero, Nomad and the heroes there, they come to Wakanda and they ask about the Mind Stone really. So luckily they take them to the to Shuri, who has a look at it and says about we can do it, but if we slip one moment, that's it. He could be destroyed. But then we get the army of Thanos' Outriders come. So Black Panther calls it to prepare for war. He does on them. Now another part of the story is when we go back to Thor and Rocket and Groot, is when they managed to get to the dwarf's place, they realise it's not working, and they realise the place is not activated. Oh, and at the same time, we see that Rocket gives Thor a robot eye. So yeah, so Thor has both eyes again. Well, he's got his eye back. But in this bit, we meet the Dwarf King. His name is Eitri. So I'm not really saying his name right, or the planet's name. So yeah, that's the Dwarf King's name. But the thing is, he brings up to Thor, this is a very important to the story, he brings up about Thanos came to us, he said if I didn't create the glove for him to contain the stones, he would kill my people. So the Dwarf King made it, but Thanos killed his people after it was made and messed up his hands. So that wasn't pretty good. But Thor managed to get him back to strength, saying about, come on, you can't just let this happen to you, you got to be strong again. So he was like, so the Dwarf King is like, let's do it then. Because Thor tells him that we need to create a weapon to kill Thanos. But then the Dwarf King says, there is a weapon we've been wanting to work on. And he calls it Stormbreaker. So yeah. So they do manage to get the place up. But the problem is, because the thing got broken off, what this heat thing to make the, to melt the metal. But the thing is, Thor he says, I'll open it, but the Dwarf King did say, if you hold it for long, you're dead. But luckily, he managed to do it. And Groot, luckily, gives it part of his own body, creates the handle, and he chops his arm off, so his left arm, so he could, give the weapon to Thor, and the Stormbreaker is now made. Now, in the part of the story as well, we see that I'm jumping back to Iron Man and Spider-Man now. Well, who's Iron Spider now? After they rescue Doctor Strange from Ebony Maw, and this is what happens: they actually kill Ebony Maw. How they do it is they blast a hole through his ship, and then Ebony Maw goes through to space. So yeah, so he dies really. So I was really disappointed about that bit, but well. That was him, really. So then, really, so what happens next with them is Iron Man has a thought about this and says like, we're going to go to where this ship was going. Strange didn't agree on it first because he was like, the Time Stone. But then Tony says, we got an opportunity to stop Thanos. So, yeah, they go on the same page. But then the ship, where the circle ship where they were on, it turns out that the ship was headed to Titan. So they come to Titan, and then after they well, sort of crash land there. They tried to think of a plan like, so what are we going to do about Thanos then? But then they end up meeting the Guardians. Now they have a fight first, and then they stop because each side thought that, oh, they're working for Thanos, but then they realise we're on the same side. So the Guardians come and so Star-Lord, Drax, Mantis, who, because don't forget Gamora was kidnapped by Thanos and now dead at this point, have a team up with Iron Man, Doctor Strange, and Iron Spider, and they have to come up with a plan like, how do we get the glove off him? So they do come up with a plan. But before they met this plan, Strange used his time stone to jump forward in time and see what would happen. And what he says is he saw multiple futures like of the outcome of the fight. But thing is, he says there is one we can get out of. So they started thinking of a plan really. So let's jump to the ending like battle scenes really. So I won't go long on the battle ones. So let's start with Wakanda. So Wakanda, so we see like Nomad, Black Widow, War Machine, Falcon, Winter Soldier is White Dwarf, and Black Panther, the Dora, Okoye, Man-Ape, these people, and also Banner in the Hulkbuster. So they head to the edge of the city to face off the Outriders. But also there we see Proxima Midnight and Black Dwarf. Now in this point, Black Dwarf, like in the Black Dwarf's first fight with the Iron Man and the and Doctor Strange and Spider-Man and even Wong, he loses an arm in the battle. He does. His hand. So in this point, he's got like a metal hand, and he looked menacing. He did. So at this point of the battle, the Proxima Midnight activates the doors of the ship that crashed landing near Wakanda, well, outside of Wakanda, and the Outriders come. So we get the big fight. So it's actually really a good fight. I'll give you that. Like Nomad took a lot of fighting to them. Even Black Panther does good fighting. Banner's doing good a bit with his fighting, but he managed to get down a little bit. Black Widow and Okoye do a team up to take on Proxima Midnight, and they don't manage to beat her really because in part of the fight these druid machines come up like these circled spiked druid machines, and they pop up and they attack some of the heroes and the Wakandan people, warriors. But Scarlet eventually thought, that's it, I'm going to join the battle, because she was watching it from where Vision is, but she jumps in and attacks. But that was bad because the thing was, Proxima Midnight wanted that, because she sends Corvus Glaive into the lab to get Vision. But what happens is, Corvus Glaive thought he had the advantage, like after taking down Shuri and a Dora warrior, not killed wise, but took him down. Vision managed to have a fight with him. He takes the fight outside in part of this forest of Wakanda. So when Nomad seen this, he goes like, we need someone to go to him. So Scarlet and Banner go to him, but Banner gets attacked by Black Dwarf. So Banner in the Hulkbuster has a fight with Black Dwarf. Now in the story as well, Banner's been trying to get Hulk out to fight Black Dwarf, but the problem is, because after what happened with Thanos, Hulk is scared and he keeps saying no. So he doesn't really have a lot of appearance in the film. So that was what I was not really impressed of, because in the first trailer we saw that Hulk was in the big Wakanda battle, but it seems like he wasn't. So I was disappointed about that bit. But Banner managed to beat Black Dwarf. So what he does is, with when the one Hulkbuster arm got broken, he attaches it to Black Dwarf, to his metal hand. The Hulkbuster hand flies him up to the shield, Wakanda's shield, and then he blows up. So Black Dwarf gets killed, and I was like, come on, why did you have to kill him? So then back to Corvus Glaive and Vision. Scarlet Witch joins into that battle. She takes him on a bit, but then she gets down, and then it looks like Corvus Glaive is about to take her down for real. But then Vision gets his staff and kills him, but like stabs behind him. And I was like, oh my god, he just killed him. And also with it, I think Vision did that because when Vision first met saw, Corvus Glaive in the Scotland place, Corvus Glaive did stab him behind him. So it was like a payback, really. But I was disappointed about that as well. Like, he just killed him. So, yeah, Corvus Glaive, and also Proxima Midnight got killed before Scarlet joined the fight with Corvus Glaive. What she did was she got Proxima Midnight up in the air, and he gets her killed by one of those giant circle spike machines. And I was like, come on. So, yeah, at this point, all the Black Order are dead. And I wasn't really happy about that, because I thought, for once, like, whoever was going to be joining Thanos, like, villain-wise, I said to myself, I don't want no villain deaths, but they did that. So, I was a bit disappointed. But I'll tell you now, before I continue, I'll say the one I enjoyed the most in the group was Ebony more, because how he talked and how he was like, and I thought he was one of the great characters in the Black Order. Don't get me wrong, I loved the other ones, but they were alright. Let me say, they were alright. Combat-wise, Black Dwarf, Proxima Midnight, and Corvus Glaive, they were actually good with fighting. But when it came to the last part of their fights, well, yeah, they were defeated that easily when it came to the end of fights they were in. Oh, and you might be noticing, like, why am I calling Black Dwarf? Well, Black Dwarf, not Core of Seeing, because I just prefer calling Black Dwarf because it's easy for me. So, yeah, there's that. So let's jump back to Titan then. So, when it comes to Titan, we see that Thanos, you know, he comes to Titan. Now, and this is an important part, because we also get to learn, well, I know we heard it from before the film came out, but we get to hear from him, like, really why he's doing this. So he brings up about, like, my planet was on the edge of extinction, and I thought about destroying half of our people, but they called me mad, and they kicked me off. And then he just says, well, but time went by, and it did happen. So yeah, so his people died, and when he used in the reality show, he did show us, like, what the planet of Titan looked like before he was dead. Well, before he went extinct. So that was, like, pretty cool. I thought that was amazing, and I was really loving Thanos more there as well. So then the fight begins. So Doctor Strange, Iron Man, Iron Spider, Mantis, Drax, you know, Star-Lord, they all start fighting him. Have I? No, I haven't. I don't think I've missed anyone from that one. But anyway, yeah, the guys who are on Titan, the heroes on Titan, so they start fighting him. Thanos uses most of the powers of the stones, and it was pretty cool how he does it. But they managed to get Thanos down. So what happens is, Iron Man and Iron Spider try to get the glove off him. Mantis using her powers to stun him a bit, while Strange and Drax were holding him down. So Nebula joins the fight on Titan, and yes, so Nebula escapes from Thanos' ship. So she managed to get off, and when she got out, when you saw the scene she gets out, you actually see her making a contact to Mantis and the Guardians, telling them to come to Titan. So that really explains, like, oh. So that explains that, so that's how they're going to meet up with Iron Man and Doctor Strange and Iron Spider. So I just thought I'd bring that up, because I forgot to bring that up, but I just thought I did that now. But the sad part was with Star-Lord, when he was asking about where Gamora is, and Thanos tells him that he killed her. So Star-Lord loses it and tries to beat him, and Iron Man tries to pull him off, and Spider-Man at the point nearly got the glove off him, like it was off his hand, but still, like, Thanos still had holded it a bit. But Thanos got out of that situation, and he got the glove back, and he took them out. So the only one standing was, like, Iron Man and Doctor Strange. So when it came to Doctor Strange's fight, Doctor Strange was using a lot of his magic to try to stop Thanos. But at this last point, Doctor Strange was using his ability to make multiple versions of himself. But Thanos stopped him on that one. So Thanos, he does get the Eye of Agamotto, but when he destroys it, there's no time stone. So it's like, oh, where's the time stone? But then Iron Man kicks in, and he has a fight with Thanos. So they have a bit of a fight. Now, I'll tell you now, Iron Man's suit in this film is great. All the stuff it can do, like it could do, like, mini drones, create weapons, you know, and even swords. And I did love that in the film. And he also does explain about the suit. He says the suit is made out of nanobots. Even Iron Spider's suit is made out of nanobots. And I did love Iron Spider as well in the film with the spider legs. Yeah, so that's Peter Parker. I just thought to remind you that Peter Parker, Spider-Man, in this film, he's Iron Spider in that. When he wears the suit, to me, he's called that. So yeah, anyway, back to the fight. So in the end of Thanos and Iron Man's fight, Iron Man attempts like to stab Thanos, but Thanos gets his nanobot sword, like knife thing, and stabs Tony. And I was like, oh my god, he killed him. But thing is, he survives because Doctor Strange says, if I give you the time stone, you spare him. So yeah, that's what happens. So Thanos gets the time stone. But then, after that, so Thanos comes to Earth, you know. So he makes his appearance on Earth. Now, in the fight, also I'll bring this up quick. In the end of the fight of the Outriders, Thor, Groot and Rocky manage to get to Earth quickly. And they have a fight with them. And then they end the fight. They end the Outriders fight with the Wakanda and the hero. So, yeah. So now let's jump to when Thanos makes his appearance. So when Thanos makes his appearance to walk to Vision, every hero tries to stop him. Like Falcon tries to, but Thanos, moves him out of the way. Even War Machine, even Winter Soldier. Now in the film, I thought I'd bring this up now. He is called White Wolf, so yeah. Sorry if I have not been using the word White Wolf. I've just been classing him as Winter Soldier, so that yeah. Then with Groot, Groot tries to stop him, but Thanos gets him out of the way. Even Nomad tries to, hold him on for a while, but it doesn't work. So when Vision was seeing, what the heroes would try to do for him, Vision just goes to Scarlet and says, kill me, you need to do it. So Scarlet actually uses her powers and destroys the Mind Stone, even destroying Vision. But then, it seems like, Thanos hasn't won, but then Thanos uses the Time Stone, sneaky little bugger, and rewinds time a bit to the point when Vision's not destroyed, before Scarlet blasts their powers at him. So Thanos grabs Vision and takes the Mind Stone out of his forehead, and he kills Vision, and Vision turns grey, so he dies. And then we see Thanos place the stone onto his glove, and then it seems like he's got all the power. Before his last attempt, he chucks the axe, the Stormbreaker, and he does get Thanos, he stabs him. Now, in part of it, Thor, it seems like he's managed to kill him, but Thanos, his last words before, what he says is, his words are, before he actually snaps his fingers, he actually does, Thanos was like, you should have gone for the head, then snaps his fingers. But then we see Thanos in a weird place without the glove, and he sees a young Gamora. And then young Gamora says to him, did you do it? And he goes like, yes. And she's like, what was it? And then she goes like, was it worth it, or was it something like that, was it worth it, or and the cost? That was it, and the cost. I think that's what it was. And then he goes like, everything. Yeah, that was it. So yes, young Gamora goes like, and the cost. So Thanos goes like, everything. And then, because I thought first he got teleported, but he didn't. And then we see the glove, and he's burned. And then Thor says, what have you done? And then Thanos opens the Space Stone ability, and he teleports away, so he survives. But then the saddest part happens. We start seeing some of our heroes turn into ash. So we see Winter Soldier gets turned to ash. We see some of the Wakanda warriors turn to ash. Black Panther gets turned to ash. Scarlet turns to ash. Teenage Groot gets turned to ash. And Rocky's like, no. Even Falcon gets turned to ash. And then on Titan, we see Mantis turn to ash. Even Drax. Star-Lord turns to ash, so he dies. So, but Iron Man tells him to stay, but that doesn't happen. And Doctor Strange, before he turns to ash, he says, there was no way we could beat him. Like that kind of thing. And then our last hero to turn to ash is Iron Spider, Peter. Now first he's like, I don't feel so good. And then he starts to ash up a little bit, and then he hooks Iron Man and says, I don't want to go. But then his last words when he was on the floor, he was like, I'm sorry. and then he dies. So the heroes got turned to ash, they die. So really, who's the remaining ones then on Earth? I mean, on the heroes, really? So on Titan, we got Nebula and Iron Man. They're the remaining heroes there. Now back on Earth, the remaining heroes we know so far alive is Nomad, Black Widow, Banner, War Machine, Thor, Rocket, Okoye, Man-Ape, and that's it. They're left of Wakanda and on Earth really. So they're more in shock, like what's happened. So our last scene in the film is we see Thanos on this weird planet, and it's like I don't know what the planet is. It doesn't really tell you the name of it. And there's a sunset coming, and you see Thanos in some wooden kind of house thing, and he's walking to the exit, to the opening of the. It's like a way out of the wood thing, but it's like no door thing. So Thanos walks to it. He has to sit down, and he's like that, like he smiles a little bit. Now with the death scene, when the ash speed was happening, it was all silent, like no song in the background. It was all silent. But when it came to the bit where Thanos won that planet, it was like a little song came on. And then that ended the film. So I was like in shock when I saw that bit. I mean, I knew Thanos was going to win and snap his fingers, but I didn't think it was going to go down like that. I thought it was going to be like, after he snaps his fingers, we see planets getting blow up and all that. Like, half the universe get blow up. But I did not expect seeing, like, people on, like, our heroes, some of them turn to ash. I didn't expect that, really. Now, when it came to the, oh, excuse me. So Thanos actually wins the war in this first pod. So let's talk about the credit scene before I end this. So, in the credit scene, we see Nick Fury and Agent Hill, and they try to talk about, try to contact with Iron Man, but that doesn't go well. But then they start seeing people turn to ash. They do, and then Agent Hill gets turned to ash, so she ends up dead. And then Nick Fury, because he was trying to use this device before he died. Like, when he died, he goes like, oh, sorry, before I heard something. He goes like, son of a, but then, mother, and then he dies as well. But then we see the this device is saying signal, and what turns up on this machine? It's Captain Marvel's logo with the blue and red and the star, and I was like, oh my god, it's called Captain Marvel. So looks like there must be a scene in Captain Marvel when she must give Nick Fury this advice and says, if you ever need me, call me. So I hope that gets into the film. Now, our last thing in the film is the word saying Thanos will return. So, yeah, Thanos will make a return in the next Avengers film. Now, also, when the Avengers Infinity War name came back up in the credits, in the end credits, it turns to ash, so it's like, oh. So they was like, this is really serious. So yeah, really, I thought the film was great. As I said, parts I didn't like really of the film was like, seeing the Black Order getting killed off. Really, and also character-wise, I'll quickly say, characters I really, really enjoyed the most was like Thanos, as I said, the Black Order, I did enjoy when they were in the scenes. Iron Man, Iron Spider, Doctor Strange. Let's say every character I saw in the film, they were great. I had no problems with them. I thought the amount of scenes they had was perfect for them. And even I was surprised about the Red Skull appearance, so I was happy about that one. And then, also the battle scenes, they were amazing. I thought they did superb on that. So I was like, so really, Marvel, well done. You've actually made a good film. Well done, Marvel. So, that's the end of this video. So, I hope this one has done its alright for you. So, as I said, I'm only trying this one out, how to do a spoiler review. So, this is only my first attempt at trying it this way. So, I thought it was really gone well, but if it hasn't, then I'll try to think of another way next time. So yeah, so if you've been here then, so if been here all this time then watching this video, or not really. So ones who have seen the film, that's what I'm trying to get at. If you've seen the film, leave your comments down below. Like, what did you love of the film? What scenes did you like characters, and what was your famous plot twist in the film? And also, what did you think of the ending and the post-credit scene? So put your thoughts down below. Also, give this a thumbs up. Share this out to your friends so I can get more viewers and subscribers to this channel. And if you're new to this channel, this is what I do. I do Marvel and Transformers Cinematic Universe news, trailers, TV spot, clips, and spoiler reviews. The trailers, clips, and TV spots, I do the non-spoilers ones, but the spoiler ones, I avoid them. Spoilers, yeah, I do those, but it's only on the films for Marvel and Transformers. So, yeah, that one. And last but not least, if you want to see my last Marvel video, click here. My channel, make sure you click the bell so you can be notified when my new videos are up. And here to see me last, Marvel. So, yeah, Marvel. Click my channel here, and then my Transformers video. So, yeah, that's for me, guys. So, again, I hope this has gone well. I'm sorry if I've speed bits up, or I've gone all slow, or I've missed bits out, but I'm trying this new way, because I don't want to do like an hour kind of video. And so, I'm hoping this has gone well, so I'm hoping. So, yeah, that's really, guys. So, I hope you enjoyed this spoiler review. Thank you for watching. See you again soon. Peace, Marvel fans.